Hello there folks, Martin Pavey here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about what point are you trying to prove. But before we do that, please do like and subscribe and share to spread this very important message. Here's a fact, well, two facts actually. People don't know the difference, and this is most people don't know the difference between an order and a request. And they also don't know the difference between an order and a suggestion. Okay, go online and what you will see is people making very, very bold declarations of do this, don't do that, eat this, don't eat that. And what they forget is everybody is different, you know? I was really seriously into the gym when I was in London, and I got to a point where I was really obsessed, not with actually the training itself, but with the food. And you can watch a billion videos on YouTube about, oh no, you have to, don't eat this food, don't eat that, you know, and eat this, eat avocado, have quinoa. And it's like, well, yeah, but I don't like either of those things because I have a different constitution, I have different likes. And what you will see when people profess all of this stuff online, what they're looking for is authority, okay? And if you look at the word authority, well, it has the word author at the beginning of it. So it's a thought that you've formed in your mind, or maybe you haven't even formed it in your mind. Maybe you've just acquired it from somewhere else or someone else. To have authority, it just means it's something that you've come to a particular conclusion and you're saying it out there. To me, what is far more important to look for if you are dealing with other people, look for respect. And respect actually involves you standing up for yourself. And a lot of people just want to give you a prescription for how to live life, how to be successful. But it's different for all of us. It's different for all of us. And what I'm really starting to see the value in is not even giving advice, because giving advice is a largely pointless exercise anyway, because what you'll see is no matter what you say, people will do what they're going to do anyway. They will behave in exactly the same way had you have said what you have said or not. You see? So the thing for me that I'm actually really starting to do is just to chart my life doing these videos. And yeah, there will be little bits of advice that I will drop, and I will, you know, encourage you to do it because it's worked for me. But really all that I am doing with these videos and what I'm doing elsewhere online is actually sharing my experience, the struggles that I've overcome and how I did it. That's all I'm really doing, and I think that's a far more appealing method because it's less intrusive. Nobody likes being sold to. Nobody likes being lectured to. Nobody likes receiving advice. We don't like it. And if you ask the average person on the street how they feel when they're given a piece of advice, well, a lot of people, there's a commonality in this, a lot of people will say, oh God, you know, I feel like a child back at school being told off by the teacher. You know, that's, and the thing is, there are certain hard truths that we need to learn, and we all come to them at the right moment for our particular life, for our journeys. But nobody likes being dictated to. Nobody likes being invaded or tyrannized in any way. And frankly, that's the emotional response that most people have to being given advice. So when I, for the 10,000th time, heard that I would be much better off if I had, you know, eggs and avocado for breakfast, well, I thought, well, yeah, but when I go to the gym and I have that breakfast, I feel sluggish, and I don't like eating one of those things anyway. I don't like avocado, for example, and eggs I don't feel like those in the morning. Eggs for me belong on toast at lunchtime. Or, as an example, it's arbitrary. But you have to decide what it is that you want in your life. And if you're doing anything online, just chart the journey. Chart what you're learning. Chart what amuses you. I've just been on, we describe these things as guilty pleasures, don't we? But I've just been on a massive marathon of watching various shorts on YouTube. And it's all content that I find entertaining, I find it informative, I find it uplifting in a lot of cases. And so I've been doing that today. I've done my writing, I've done my blog post, and you have to find your own way. And so if that's what you're doing and that's what you enjoy, well, the likelihood is that that's how other people will like to be talked to as well. Do not lecture, because you've got a young guy, and yet the gym, brilliant. But when I was growing up, I did a huge amount of dancing, and people say, "Oh my God, wow, look at your legs. They're really, really amazing." And I said, "Well, yeah, dancing. I kicked I kicked my leg high above my head, and I do the splits, and very, very flexible." So there are different ways. There are different ways. And if you've got somebody that you're following who says, this is the only way that you can get to that point, they're lying. And they're not respecting you as an individual. And I talked the other day about, it was yesterday, I think, actually, wasn't it? I talked about a relationship that I'd had, professional relationship, that had worked for quite a long time, but had soured for me because the person, that I was speaking with, overstepped the mark in my eyes. And the first time it happened, I felt a bit uncomfortable, a bit awkward, and then it happened again, and it happened again, and I felt, no, you're not allowed to say that. That's not right. And you do have to stand up for yourself and say, okay, fair enough. And people will use impactful language online. And let's face it, if you're on something like Twitter, you can write a lot longer prose now on Twitter, but it's sort of soundbitey. Most of what you will see online, it's soundbitey, and so the possibility to misconstrue that is certainly there, but you're not getting the nuance really, unless people, you're doing longer form, reading longer form kind of posts. So always look for the nuanced position, accept that people are who they are. They have different wants, needs and desires. They want to live their lives in their own way, and just like you do. So be relatable, but don't offer advice, and don't try and prove a point to somebody, because when you're trying to prove a point to people, what you're actually doing, what you're signaling to people, is that you don't really hold that belief as strongly as you believe that you do. It shows that, he think, what's the line? He doth protest too much, methinks. We've turned it around. Methinks he doth protest too much. It's the wrong way around. People do not like somebody who is evangelical about these things. They just want to hear somebody speaking the truth, speaking it honestly, speaking it simply, and speaking it in a way that is relatable and easy, frankly. People have enough stresses and traumas. Be the person in their life that feeds useful and entertaining information, but don't do it in a preachy kind of way, because let's face it, none of us like that. So be down to earth, be relatable, and just share the lessons that you're learning and how you're overcoming struggles in the past. Everybody loves a before and after. We all love a transformation. And you have the technology and the power to actually communicate that to people, which I think is a really, really, truly magical thing. So thank you very much for listening. Please do like and subscribe and share to spread this very important message. Thank you very much for all of the lovely comments, for the likes, for new and old subscribers. I appreciate you all very, very much. I feel very, very blessed. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Ciao for now.